The Indianapolis Colts to 0-2.
49ers have been one of the NFL's elite teams. Super Bowls and superstars have created a formidable legacy for this franchise. Steve Young has been the quarterback in recent years, and in last week's season opener, the 49er offense was at full throttle. Jerry Rice returned from surgery with a vintage performance, and then in overtime, a new hero emerged.
Takes the handoff. Briggs goes right. Gets to the 20. He's on the 30. Needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline. Breaks the third tackle. Comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown 49ers.
The sudden and dramatic victory was nothing new for Steve Young.
Over the long haul, you always know that no matter what the situation is, no matter how crazy the game is, no matter how many times it's back and forth, you know, you got the 49er uniform on. It's been done before, and now that you're wearing it, you better join in, because it's going to happen.
Steve Young will try to make it happen again tonight as the San Francisco 49ers come roaring into the nation's capital to play the Washington Redskins on ABC's Monday Night Football. And just a few miles west of our site, the U.S. State Capitol on a gorgeous late summer evening. Now you're looking at Jack Kent Cooke Stadium. Its second year of existence, still looking for his first postseason appearance. Scott Blayton to kick off as the Niners will get the ball. And Chuck Levy, who is not only the fastest 49er, but some think he's the fastest player in the league, will run it back. Levy, who played his college ball at Arizona from the 5, with good coverage by the Redskins and knocked down at the 18-yard line. Chris Thomas makes the tackle. Here comes Steve Young. Played at Brigham Young, started his career in the USFL, into Tampa Bay, and then to the 49ers, the successor to Montana. Behind him, Garrison Hurst with that great run. Mark Edwards, the fullback, Stokes and Rice outside with Irv Smith, the tight end. Fiore, Brown, Goldman, Gogan, and Deese up front. We'll also see a lot of Terrell Owens. In fact, he is in the game, and that's Owens in motion as they start with 3 wides. And Young's first play is a pass to Irv Smith, but for a very minimal game. Smith, a tight end, came over from the New Orleans Saints. Up front, where they really revamped, the Niners will face Wilkinson and a former teammate Stubblefield in the middle, with Lang and Kenny outside. Wilkinson and Stubblefield, two of the very best, of a multi-million-dollar investment. Harvey, Patton, and Smith are the linebackers, and then Dishman and Green, the great corners, with Campbell and Richard the safety. Darrell Green, no doubt, someday in the Hall of Fame. Second down and 8 with a double tight end set. Young with good protection, throws and threads the needle, and Jerry Rice, who took most of the first period last week before he made his first catch in his comeback, tonight only waits until the second play, stopped by Green.
You know what we'll see tonight from the 49ers, Al, is we'll see a lot of different formations, a lot of different personnel groups. They like to confuse the defense, especially on the road when it's loud like this.
On first down from the 32, they give it to Mark Edwards, who looks a whole lot, Dan, like his position coach, Tom Rathman, who wore the same number.
They are almost clones. And, of course, Rathman on the sidelines for the 49ers and really defined how to play that fullback position in this 49er offense. There's a good look at the former Cornhusker, who brought an attitude and a lot of physical ability to this game. But I can't imagine a guy better suited to coach the RBs in San Francisco than Tom.
Edwards asked to do many of the same things. Second down and 7. And this time, like Rathman, Edwards makes the catch. And that's what Tom was so good at. He'd carry the ball 2 or 3 times a game and catch it on plays like that.
Well, the fullback in this offense is not just a lead blocker. As a matter of fact, his primary role might be as a receiver. So a fullback in some offenses is not a very glamorous position. With the 49ers, you get to handle the football an awful lot.
Young with a perfect start. Steve is 3 of his first 3 for 28 yards. From the 49-yard line with a one-back set to give it to Hurst. And Garrison takes it to the 46 of the Redskins, a gain of 5. It's Kelvin Kinney, third-year guy out of Virginia State, with a stop.
You know, Garrison Hurst had a great week last week. He was the NFC Offensive Player of the Week against the New York Jets. Ripped off a 96-yard run in overtime to win that ball game. Garrison Hearst is really coming into his own as the featured back in this offense.
Hearst, formerly with the Cardinals, then the Bengals, and hopes to be in San Francisco, he told us last night, for the rest of his career. He trips as he gets started there and is stopped at the 45-yard line, setting up the 3rd and 4.
Guys, you know I love the play up on the line, and when the 49ers have the ball, we have just got to keep an eye on Ray Brown and Kevin Gogan for the 49ers against that guy, Dana Stubblefield and Dan Wilkinson. These are 4 300-pound plus guys. All 4 of them, their game is strength, and this is a battle of the big boys going at it tonight.
3rd down and 4. Young over the middle, and wide open is J.J. Stokes to the 40-yard line. And for years, the Niners, when you talk about their offense, there's been a phrase, so many weapons. And when you've got Stokes and Rice and Owens and Garrison Hearst and Steve Young, that's so many weapons.
And the ability to flood one side of the field and protect the quarterback. The key is they have to get to Steve Young. They can't let him sit back there and throw those little dinky passes, because these receivers have the ability to make the play after they catch the ball.
And Boomer, they had such a chance to grow up and mature last year when Jerry Rice was out of the game. When he was on the bench, it really was a plus for those other 2.
That was the only upside to that injury. Screen, and this is Chuck Levy. And if you let him get into space, nobody will catch him on his way to the end zone. They have to wrap him up early, and they do as Dishman shoves him out of bounds.
Now, how great is this offense? We see runs up the middle. We see screens. We see little shallow crosses. We see balls thrown down the field. Receivers, all different receivers getting involved. This is what the 49er West Coast offense is all about, getting everybody involved.
Steve Mariucci took over last year. Remember, Walsh created this system, and then George Seifert came in a fairly seamless transition, and into Mariucci. Steve Young, last year in the first quarter, as you can see, was sensational. And this one he throws away. There was nothing happening with the initial play. The pressure was put on. He just dumped it off.
Well, Jamel Williams comes in again. Remember, he made the first hit of the game. He's having a pretty good series here. This backup defensive back for the 49ers. A nice call by Mike Nolan that time, Boomer, coming with the blitz.
That's the sexy part of the defense in the NFL now. They're trying to bring cornerbacks and safeties, trying to create confusion within the offensive line. That time they did that, and they succeeded.
Well, when you call the blitz and the quarterback rolls right into it, that's when you know it works out well for you.
3rd down and 7. This is the game's opening drive. And whistle sounds before as Dave Fiore moves. Fiore, the new left tackle. And our referee tonight, Larry Nevers, makes the call.
74 offense. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
4 Hofstra players in the NFL now. Wayne Corbett being the most famous. And they have a pretty, you laugh, I mean, they have a pretty darn good football program there.
I'm just saying that is not the way one of the Hofstra guys wanted to get mentioned. He's second from the left, number 74, watching rock back right here. This is the crowd noise. Once you pick up that hand, it's all over. That's a false start.
It wasn't that loud at Hofstra when he played.
On 3rd and 12, Rice is set to the left, and again we've got movement up front, and this is Derek Deese. You know, the funny thing with this situation, the Washington Redskins have beefed up their defense with 2 multi-million-dollar tackles. And as we talk about the Niners' offensive line, it consists of a 6th-round draft choice, 2 8th-round draft choices, and 2 free agents.
And under the tutelage of one of the great offensive line coaches in the National Football League, and Bob McKittrick. Okay, he's the closest guy to us. There goes Deese. Man, that's offsides by a bunch.
3rd down and 17 now as the Skins rush 4, and that's enough for Dan Wilkinson to make the sack. The Bengal, the #1 draft choice in the '94 draft, comes over from Cincinnati, makes his Monday night debut, and does he ever?
And he certainly has found new life here. There's no question. Dana Stubblefield has had a great impact on him. Danny is very strong. I mean, he's at the point of attack. When they get near those quarterbacks, boy, they want to lay it to him.
And luckily for Steve Young, most of Dan Wilkinson fell on the ground and not on Young.
Eddie Howard to punt. A floating kick, and it's fair caught by Brian Mitchell at the 14-yard line. So a good start to a 49er drive, but the Skins hold and take over with 9:41 to go in the quarter. No score. From Indiana University at the age of 28. And his numbers last week in New York, very impressive in relief of Gus Frerotte. Makes his first career start, and Frerotte is now the man who will call in the plays, and Jeff Hostetler is the number 3 quarterback. So 2 veterans look on as Trent Green gets tested under fire from the 14-yard line on first down. He starts by giving it to Terry Allen. We'll see a lot of action tonight. Obviously, Allen carries the ball 20 to 25 times a game. Allen with Bowie in the backfield, Westbrook and Shepard outside, and Asher is the tight end. They rotate there a lot. Badger, Johnson, Raymer, Patton, and Pordonish, the offensive line. So they'll try to protect Trent Green, making his first start.
And an offensive line that gave up 8 sacks last week in their loss to the New York Giants. They have got to tighten that up tonight.
Second down, 10. That's Shepard in motion, out of the eye, action up front, and Larry Nemmers blowing the whistle again. And movement on the part of the Redskins will cost them 5.
Obviously not the way you want to start it to the Redskins. You want to get Trent in good field position.
Full start, 77 offense, 5 yards, still second down.
And backed up against this particular defense, it's very difficult to really let your players just settle in.
Trey Johnson with the call. Parker, Young, Bryant, and Dolman up front. The junior Bryant's a starter this year with Stubblefield gone. Woodall, Tubbs came over from New Orleans, and Norton. And then Langham, Walker, McDonald, and Hanks in the secondary that had a lot of trouble last week there. But still minus Marquez Pope. He's hurt with a bad back in a couple of weeks. Green's first pass of the night is right there. He finds Michael Westbrook down the sideline. And he picks up a first down at the 40 as he threw it over Darnell Walker.
Oh, I'll tell you, got away with one there, Al. He actually threw the ball behind Westbrook. Walker was underneath Westbrook, and he caught a break. And that's exactly what the Redskins need, and that's what Trent Green needs right now. You can see Walker doing a good job of covering, gets underneath Westbrook, and the ball's thrown behind him. You need a little bit of luck when you're playing quarterback, especially down in this part of the field.
From the 41-yard line, after a 32-yard gain, they give it to Sam Bowie, or Larry Bowie. Well, you know, Sam Bowie used to play in this area, right, Boomer?
I remember him as taller, though.
Right, he was.
I don't think he'd make a good fullback. He'd get cut in half.
Or Bowie Racetrack.
Right.
Well, a few more runs like that, then Sam Bowie would end up that height.
Right.
A couple times, the Redskins now have tested the 49er front in running the football and have gone nowhere.
Green, first quarterback in the 90s to make his first NFL start on Monday Night Football. The last guy to make a debut on Monday night as a starter was Frank Reich with Buffalo in 1989 against the Rams. Green throws underneath. That's caught by Jamie Asher. He's to the 46-yard line. It'll be third down and 4. And Bryant Young came in to welcome Trent Green.
Trent Green, this is the things that Norv Turner said last week that he liked about him. He stood in the pocket, he took his shots, and he delivered the ball under extreme duress. Now, obviously they had troubles, and you can see right here, standing right in, he knows Bryant Young is right there, delivers the football accurate. And that's what coaches like, accuracy.
Bryant Young beats the double team and is right in Trent Green's face. By far and away the 49ers' best defensive lineman, maybe the best tackle in football.
On third and 4, it's an errant toss, but Mitchell is able to pull it in and turn it into a big gain. Brian Mitchell, who does everything, runs back, kicks. He's a halfback. He can be a fullback. He can be a quarterback. One of the most versatile guys. Really bailed Green out.
Coaches love guys like Brian Mitchell. They can do it all for them, as you said, Al. Just give them the ball, let them make a play for you. Good play design that time by the coaches of the Washington Redskins. Just a little pitch outside, keep everybody in tight, and outflank the defense and get around for about 7-yard gain, enough for a first down.
Excellent lead block out front by Brad Badger, and then Trey Johnson, the guard, finished it off.
A 19-yard pickup for him, and Terry Allen scoots to the outside and gets taken down partially by his own man, and then Langham will get credit for the tackle.
Well, finally, a little room on the ground here for the Redskin running game. Needless to say, they need to pound out 100-plus yards on the ground tonight to take some pressure off Green. Terry Allen is a hard man. This is a guy that every yard he gets in this league is a tough yard. His production last week against the Giants.
Running on 2 reconstructed knees. He stays in the block after the fake to him, and then it's a first down as Leslie Shepard hauls it in.
And Boomer, this is just the way Trent Green threw the ball last week in relief against the Giants.
This is not surprising to the coaches of the Redskins. They told us yesterday that they have extreme confidence in him. He knows the offense. He obviously has the poise, as you can see there. Nice tight spiral, very accurate. Again, these are the things that the Redskins want to do. Play action passing. And what a nice throw that time by Trent Green.
5:07 left in the opening quarter with no score. It's first and goal from the 9-yard line. Bootleg to the right, open man. He hits Leslie Shepard, who dives in for the touchdown.
Trent Green imagined this first drive and how it would work out, Boomer. But if he saw this coming, he really is optimistic.
Scott Blant for the point after. They go 86 yards in the entire 97 season. The 49ers. Leslie Shepard made it pay off. One of the big plays, though, early on, that pass to Westbrook, who was able to haul it in. On the far sideline, they go 86 yards. Green didn't miss a connection, and it's 7-0 Washington. Chuck Levy back to receive the kick. Scott Blant to boot it. Short kick. 10-yard line. Levy. Flag comes in, and Levy is stopped at the 31-yard line. Redskins, of course, are signaling for a face mask.
You can tell the Redskins are ready to go tonight. But I'll tell you right now, they're in the middle of piles. They're pushing people. You can see the emotion flowing for Washington tonight. And if their running game keeps working the way it has been.
Holding number 94 during the return. 10-yard penalty. First down, San Francisco.
The play-action pass is going to be an important part of the Redskins' success tonight.
David Ritchie, he gets the penalty and a talking to from George Stewart, the special teams coach.
About what a running game could do for a young quarterback right here. He makes a hard fake to Terry Allen. The defense overcommits, hits Leslie Shepard. Good play design that time by the offensive coaching staff of the Washington Redskins.
Now from the 17, the Niners begin with Hurst up to the 28-yard line, and that should be enough for a first down. Very close to it. Garrison Hurst, who has given the 49ers what they really didn't need that much through the early years of the West Coast offense, when they could almost run anybody in and out of the backfield, as they proved in a couple of their Super Bowl seasons.
Are you insinuating that maybe they have a good, solid system in place in San Francisco?
Not only insinuating, demanding.
No kidding. Still have to have players to make the system go, though, guys.
From the 28-yard line, Hurst throws, and this is Rice making the catch and falling down as he was covered by Darrell Green. Monday Night Football from Washington is being brought to you by Bud Light, with a great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. Apple Computer, think different. McDonald's celebrating 30 years of the Big Mac sandwich. And Visa, the official card of the NFL, that's everywhere you want to be. Apple Computer, you should be thinking differently.
Nice.
Attention, Madison Avenue. Second down and 6 to the 32-yard line. This is Hurst picking up a yard and then slung back.
Well, you can certainly tell by the intensity and the enthusiasm being displayed by the Redskins tonight. This is their home opener, having opened up on the road at the Meadowlands last week against the Giants, and with an absolutely brutal early schedule for the Redskins. They know they have to win at home. They go to Seattle, they come back here to play Denver, then Dallas, and I can't imagine a tougher way to start the season than what Washington's having to do here in '98.
3rd down and 5, and this time they split Hurst to the right, leave Levy in the backfield and come this way, and it is Terrell Owens breaking a tackle and taking it to the 50-yard line. He's tackled there by Darrell Green.
That time, the defense of the Redskins they were confused when Garrison Hurst broke the backfield. But these are the things that the 49ers can do. And when you have a quarterback that can handle the offense like Steve Young, you can do a lot of different formations, a lot of different personnel groups, and Steve will just pick you apart underneath, especially if it's 3rd and short like this. All these 49ers receivers have watched Jerry Rice. They know how to run with the ball after they make the catch.
1st and 10 from the 50. Hurst, big hole. 9-yard gain to the 41-yard line. 2nd down and a short one.
You know, Dan, you were talking about Terry Allen being a rough, tough back. I mean, that's the kind of back Garrison Hurst is. He's a no fooling around, goes right through the middle and hits it hard. When I played with him in Arizona, it was the same way.
Well, this is just straight ahead blocking, double team on both the defensive tackles. No linebacker there to fill on behalf of the Redskins. Perfect execution there by the 49er front line.
2nd and 1 with a minute and a half to play in the quarter. Hurst gets the 1st down.
Nice. Tell you what, this kid has come to play tonight. There's no indecisiveness on his part. There's no tiptoeing. He knows where he's going with it, and when he gets into the hole, boy, he is shooting right in there.
Well, keep in mind, Boomer, this is a play that's supposed to go off right guard. He ends up selling it all the way to the outside to the point where he's able to make a successful cutback. That was a nifty piece of running by Garrison Hurst.
From the 34-yard line. Good protection, and then he slings it into the arms of Edwards at the 20-yard line. So they've already gone to Edwards tonight 3 times.
And this is how good Steve Young is. He knows that Edwards is covered, and he can just throw the ball, stop Edwards with the ball before he gets to the safety. And Edwards is athletic enough to turn around and make the play.
He was the lead back in the I formation, Boomer. How often do you end up completing a pass to the lead back on the I going through?
Well, that's where you have to go through your progression as a quarterback, and then you know where the softness of the defense is, and Steve's very good at that.
Edwards with 1 run and 2 receptions, so he's handled the ball on 3 occasions from the 20-yard line. Young going deep, touchdown. Terrell Owens over the middle. Got by Dishman and hauls it in.
What a terrific read by Steve Young. He sees the safeties leave the middle. He knows he has Owens on Dishman one-on-one, and the height advantage there for the San Francisco 49ers. And this 49ers make a living on throwing post patterns that are about 12 yards deep, and then they slant across the field, and they use their height advantage and their athleticism to outplay the defensive back.
Beautifully blocked by the 49ers up front. Nobody close to Steve Young. He had a perfect lane right down the middle of the field to see Owens.
Wade Ritchie for the point after. And that will tie it with 3 seconds remaining in the quarter. So the Niners have racked up 124 yards in the period, and they've caught the Redskins 7-7. In the background, and the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial now coming into view in the foreground. And our aerial shots tonight provided by the Bud 1 airship hovering high above Jack Kent Cooke Stadium, known for the, or named for the late owner of the Washington Redskins. Niners kick off. Brian Mitchell juggles it at the 1 and comes back to the 16. And that is the end of an action-packed and exciting first quarter. The game is tied 7-7, and Monday Night Football returns after this message in a word. Green, his first NFL start, a perfect 4 for 4 on his opening drive. Leslie Shepard caught that pass, caught a subsequent touchdown pass. And there he is, 4 for 4 for 64 yards. From the 16 as this drive commences and the second quarter begins, Terry Allen to the outside for a gain of 4. Al Michaels with Dan Deerdorf, Wilmer Esiason, and Leslie Visser in Rowjohn, Maryland, this Washington, D.C. suburb, and the numbers to the first quarter of competition.
What we have seen San Francisco with a couple of drives, extremely efficient offensive production by both of these clubs. You see the Redskins did theirs a whole lot quicker with Green only throwing the ball 4 times.
They've only had the ball once.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't ever remember having the ball just once.
Well, that's as fast a first quarter as I can ever recall.
On 2nd and 6 now from the 20-yard line. That's tipped and knocked away.
Ooh.
Ken Norton got his hand up. 3rd down. Let's go to Leslie Visser. Les.
Al, everyone's had advice for Trent Green. He told me he picked Jeff Hostetler's brain all week. He also sought the advice of Sonny Jurgensen, the Hall of Fame quarterback for the Redskins. Jurgensen told him, don't be afraid to be creative. All the great ones, Elway, Favre, Young, all improvised. He also told him, if you want to impress the coaches, throw the ball away, Al.
Don't hold on to it.
Sonny with that big stogie.
Yeah. Sonny also told him nothing beats a good cigar.
You betcha. 3rd down and 6 from the 20-yard line. Out of the shotgun. Green throws an out pattern that is hauled in, but is he in bounds? The officials look at each other and say yes. He caught it in bounds. It's Michael Westbrook. Got inside of Walker and got his feet down.
I'll tell you what, Trent Green shows me something here with his arm strength. And a great job by Westbrook on the sideline, tippy-toeing.
Tippy-toeing?
Tippy-toeing. Look at this. Very nice. Oh, see, that's a tippy-toe right there.
That's beautiful work.
You guys in the trenches wouldn't recognize that.
You know, Boomer, why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Because your feet are too big.
Just don't call him a big ugly. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Green over the middle, and it's a deflected pass, incomplete. That's the 2nd pass now that a 49er defender has gotten a hand on, intended for Jamie Asher. Norv Turner, prior to becoming the Redskin head coach, was the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. It looked like it was Junior Bryant who got a hand up to knock it away.
Then it looked almost like it was deflected a 2nd time downfield. It looks like Bryant right there alters it a little bit, and then on its way to Asher, might have been touched again.
2nd down and 10 now. Early in the 2nd quarter, the game is tied. Terry Allen on 2 reconstructed knees loses the ball, but the play is dead. It is almost a 1st down. Merton Hanks came up with it, but they had blown the whistle.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, that could be a fumble. The back judge came up.
That looked like that ball came out before Allen ever hit the ground.
And I think the back judge came back into the and said, hey, look, guys, this is a fumble.
No. This is no certainty that the Redskins are going to retain this football after this conference. It is a fumble. The ball is out way before Allen hits the ground.
You can see the umpire is shielded behind the play, but the back judge looks like he came up and made the right call.
Yep. Well, they're going to give it to the 49ers, not something you see very often, because the whistle had actually blown, and in the old days of replay, they would have said inadvertent whistle ends the play. But instead, the officials confirm. Obviously, the official who blew the whistle was then asked what he could see from that angle and was overruled by somebody who had a better angle.
You got to give credit to the officials on this play, making the correct call and doing the right thing.
But, Al, your point is a valid one. How do you get around the fact that the whistle had blown?
To end the play from the 40-yard line. 1st down, 49ers. Hurst to the 36. And it's an important point in the sense that if the whistle has blown to end the play, that's it. But if the play is still going on, there's a chance that whoever picks up the fumble could re-fumble the football.
Or run it in for a touchdown.
Absolutely.
Really, this is what hurt the Redskins last week. Turnovers in their own zone, on their own side of their 50, giving the offense of the opposing team a short distance to go. Very difficult for the Redskin defense.
2nd down and 5. It's an empty backfield with Hurst split, and a whistle sounds as Rice makes the catch, but there's no play.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense 63, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
2nd 1 on Derek Deese. Here's a reminder, a week from tomorrow, meet the people behind live television. When the show ends, real life begins on Sports Night. You'll see it September 22nd. That's a week from tomorrow. Pretty good sports night in the nation's capital as you look down at Jack Kempcock Stadium. Redskins home opener. They opened with a loss on the road last week. It's second down. And 10 now as Young throws, and that's caught at the 30-yard line. Owens, who scored the touchdown earlier, has a first down.
One of the principles of the West Coast offense is to set quickly, get rid of the football so the pass rush doesn't get to you. When you look at this offense, the offense of the Green Bay Packers and also the Denver Broncos, they all run the same type of offense. Each of the head coaches have their own stamp on it, and all three quarterbacks in the offense, Favre, Elway, and Young, have mastered it, and that's why they're at the top of their games.
First down, Young is 10 of 11. This time the split backs. They give the ball to Levy. And Levy gets stood up, can't turn the corner. Marcus Patton knocking him out.
How about Chuck Levy? I was with him in Arizona. He was a wide receiver. And he comes out here to the 49ers. He's running back kicks. He lines up as a running back, a wide receiver, and has really been a nice find for them.
And Al mentions, Boomer, about the system in place here in San Francisco. Look how efficiently they have been moving the football. And the best receiver in the history of football hasn't even been a part of it yet.
And you know, Dan, they're moving guys in and out of the lineup, split backs, single backs, empty backfields, three receivers, two tight ends. A different look on every play. Second down and 8. Young can still run, skirts the sideline, turns it back inside, and gets knocked down at the 5. He was thinking about going out of bounds, but saw daylight to the inside.
You know, for such a smart guy, sometimes you wonder.
Boomer, haven't you ever been in a situation where the competitive side of you wins over logic?
Well, I guess because Ty Detmer's on his sideline, he can do this now. Come on, we have 14 games left to go after this.
This is one of the great competitors that has ever taken a snap in this league. He just can't help himself.
No, he can't help himself. Look at him. Look at oh yeah, way to throw your shoulder into him, Steve. Come on.
When he gets his left leg bent back a little awkwardly there.
20-yard run, his longest since '96. Hurst.
You know, yesterday we saw John Elway get hurt. We saw Troy Aikman get hurt. Troy was running with the football. And you know, and John pulled a little bit of a hamstring. And tonight, this guy, Steve.
The only quarterback in this game that is really safe is you, Boomer.
That's right. That's exactly why I'm up here, too, guys.
And Brad Johnson of Minnesota, broken bone in his right leg. He's out for a few weeks. Aikman out for a month to 2. Elway will be determined his status this weekend later. Jim Harbaugh's hurting. Tough 2 weeks for quarterback. Second and goal. And this is Young himself for the touchdown.
This is an audible by the 49ers. They see the inside tackle, Dana Stubblefield, and Dan Wilkinson wide.
Well,
and you could see him pat the center.
Yeah, the only guy in on this, Boomer, is Chris Dahlman, the center.
Well, he's laughing. He knows.
Yeah.
He goes, hey, look, we saw it on film. Watch his hand. Watch him pat. They just snap it and go.
If there's no middle linebacker in this situation, that's just an automatic for a quarterback. What a gaffe by the Redskins to give him such an easy touchdown.
Wade Ritchie for the point after.
Centers used to like that, too, when you do that to them.
Oh, yes. They like it a lot more when the quarterback ends up in the end zone with the football.
Absolutely.
Which he just did, and it's 14-7 San Francisco. Week 2 of the 1998 NFL season. Next week we go to the Meadowlands. It'll be Dallas against the Giants from the Big Apple, and the Bud 1 airship providing the scenics tonight from our nation's capital as the Niners kick off. Wade Ritchie sends it deep into the end zone. Brian Mitchell will down it there, and the Redskins will take over at the 20-yard line. 10:04 left in the half. 14-7 49ers. The Washington Redskins have the ball at their own 20-yard line, and there's our college football regional lineup on Saturday. Missouri against #1 Ohio State headlining the action. Check your local listings. Green is under pressure and has to dump it off because the pressure was put on by Chris Dolman. Well, we're in the nation's capital, hard by for Boomer Esiason, the site of his college career.
Well, I have a little present for you anyway. Here's a little Maryland hat for you.
Thank you
and you
very
better
much.
wear it. You hear me?
College Park is how far
Sure.
from Raljon?
Oh, it's probably about 4 or 5, maybe 6 miles.
Very nice.
Yes.
The Terps?
The Terps, the Terrapins. And I have my turtle tie on today. See
Very
that?
nice.
See that? You like that?
A few friends at the game tonight?
A few friends at the game.
Second down and 10. Terry Allen picks up 4.
I don't believe I've ever seen a tie with turtles on it before.
I don't believe so either. No, not since the 60s anyway.
We're not going to be seeing a tie with an M on it, are we?
No, not until they win a game.
Yeah, all right, so you just back off, both of you guys.
Not the block M, not these days.
Have you ever noticed what a mean streak this guy has?
Have I noticed?
Wow.
Well, if you were bounced around for 14 years, you'd have a mean streak too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I played in the Garden of Plenty.
Yeah, okay.
I think the meanest streak I saw from him was when O'Donnell signed that contract this year. From the 24-yard line, 3rd down and 6. And that's dropped to the 31-yard line, and there's a flag down on the near side of the field intended for Jamie Asher. Larry Memmers again is the official.
Speaking of Neil O'Donnell, he earned his pay yesterday.
He did.
What a great game he had.
Overtime win for Cincinnati over Detroit.
Come on, Boomer, you don't mean that.
Personal foul. 15-yard face mask on the defense. Number 43. It's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's Antonio Langham, and that's not the garden variety 5-yard job. That's the big-time face mask.
And boy, did the Redskins need a break like that.
Ooh.
And that is not the inadvertent little 5-yard variety. That was a big-time grab of Michael Westbrook's face mask.
Those DBs are taught to try to hold up those receivers at the line of scrimmage to give the pass rush an opportunity to get back to the quarterback. But obviously, you cannot touch the face mask, and Antonio will feel the brunt from his defensive coordinator when he gets to the sideline.
First down from the 40-yard line. And now Terry Allen with a big hole gets tripped up and dives forward and is close to a first down. Ken Norton got a hand on him to knock him down.
Well, you're facing a 3rd down deep in your own territory. 1 penalty on the defense, 1 good run, and now all of a sudden you're in San Francisco territory. And gives Trent Green a little room to feel a little more comfortable. Nice job of blocking up front. Trey Johnson comes across, but Terry Allen abandons the designated hole, cuts it back to the left side of center, finds a soft spot in the 49er defense, and picks up a nice little gain.
Coaches in the NFL are always looking for running backs to make the move, to make the Barry Sanders move or the Emmitt Smith move or the Terrell Davis move for that little extra yardage. And certainly Terry Allen and Garrison Hurst both possess that ability.
I just can't watch Terry Allen out without realizing what a medical marvel he is, with both of his knees having been surgically reconstructed. For a running back to come back and play is amazing. To come back and play at this level, I can't recall ever having seen it before.
Started his career with the Minnesota Vikings. In fact, in his first season, he had the first reconstructive surgery. Then got going, had the second, and then came over to Washington. And after they were short by inches, he picks up the first down on the next play. Let's go to Leslie.
Al, through 3 Super Bowls, the symbol of stability for the Redskins was the offensive line, the Hogs. I'm joined by Jeff Bostic, of course, the center for 3 Super Bowl teams. What is this offensive line doing better? They gave up 8 sacks last week.
Well, they're doing better running the football right now. And the big key, if you can run the football, it keeps the defense off balance somewhat. Their offensive line had an atrocious opener. You know what? They're coming back. They're bouncing back like you would expect.
Well, they don't need you tonight, but stay around. Back to you, Al.
All right, Les, first down from the 44. Here's Green throwing, and that is knocked down as Walker is there. The intended receiver was Shepard.
That was close to being an interception that time. Trent's got to get rid of the ball a little bit more quickly. And I'll tell you this right now, going into this, if you're a play caller and you're this part of the field right here, you can take some chances. But Walker does a nice job of getting underneath Shepard. It was really not that much separation, but Trent's got to throw the ball a little bit quicker.
Trent Green, 28 years old. He went to high school in St. Louis. He went to Indiana University. He was the 3rd to last guy drafted in '93 by San Diego. Allen But we asked Norv Turner about him last night, and Norv said, when I was at Dallas, Norv was the offensive coordinator there. He said, I had my eye on this guy, and had he not been drafted, I was going to try to get him to Dallas and work him out there.
He actually played, Al, at Vianney High School in St. Louis. About 5 miles from my house, I actually had an opportunity to see him play once or twice when he was in high school, an all-state guy. And you know what? We've seen it before. Quarterbacks that have been patient, they have learned how to play the game. You know, Brad Johnson comes to mind, a guy who really didn't play a lot his first couple years in the league, and look how well he plays now.
Right, a little dump-off shovel to Brian Mitchell, and he takes it to the 23, and that's the play they've used with Mitchell no matter who the quarterback's been here for the last 10 years.
What a terrific play call. That time, one of the reasons you run a shovel pass is because you have defensive ends that like to rush up the field, and you shovel the pass right underneath them. And it's kind of a deceptive play, but it goes in the book as a completion, and that's obviously something that is somewhat easy to execute.
I thought that was Lee Grosscup for a minute.
Boomer, a little history here. That's the shovel pass, Lee Grosscup at the University of Utah with Jack Curtis as his coach, invented it.
That one's for you, Cuppert.
First down at the 23-yard line. Terry Allen swings to the outside and goes out of bounds as he crosses the 21-yard line.
It's important for wide receivers to block downfield. One of the best blocking wide receivers in the NFL happens to be on the 49ers sideline, and Jerry Rice. That time, Michael Westbrook had a chance to lay a block and didn't make the block for Terry Allen. Didn't give him a chance to get around the corner. Can't just catch passes as a football player. You got to do it all.
Second down and 7 now. 6.5 to go in the half. 49ers leading 14-7. After the Skins have taken a 7-0 lead. Pressure from the outside. McDonald was blitzing, and Green takes it himself to the 20-yard line. Picks up a hard yard. It'll be 3rd and 6. Stopped by Buckner.
That was a hard yard. And Buckner's like a fire hydrant in there. He's about 320 pounds, maybe a little bit lighter than that. But you don't want to take on a nose tackle head first, do you, Dan?
No, you don't. No, you don't. And you know, that was one of those zone blitzes. You saw McDonald come from the outside. Buckner actually had dropped back into the hook zone right there, and then he comes up. So he's actually got a little bit of forward momentum when he plants Mr. Green.
3rd and 6 now from the 20. Niners show blitz. The corner's back off, and then that's knocked down by Darnell Walker.
That's twice on this drive where Walker had a real shot at the ball.
And he had a real shot at the first play of the game, the first throw of the game of Trent Green. You got to be really careful. The Redskin offensive line and backs did a good job of picking up the blitz that time. Well, Walker is sitting on Michael Westbrook and Leslie Shepard over there. They have to try a little pump and go. Maybe to loosen them up a little bit and scare them into the fact that they will throw the ball deep.
You saw Leslie Shepard there pointing to the sideline. He wanted that throw to the outside, not to the inside.
Right, low and away.
Scott Blanton attempting a 37-yard field goal for Rock to hold it. And the kick is good. So Turner watches that drive come up a little short, but they do get 3 and cut the 49er lead to 4.
It was tested in the Amazon and the Serengeti. So you can take on the toughest jungle of all. Now until September 30th, get $2,000 cash back on every 98 Nissan Pathfinder.
Okay, it's my big debut. Here we go. Wise. Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Good.
Wise. Did he forget his line or what? Is this the regular one or is he the understudy? Is this? Yeah, thank you. Hey, you gotta wait for me. Let's hold it, not you. He goes, then I. Wait a second, not you. Hold it. Why? Why? I can't work in this environment. Cut! Cut!
55. What'll it be?
We'll take some rice and...
Get some farf, too.
Yeah.
Now you can choose which teams you see every Sunday with DirecTV and NFL Sunday Ticket. There's up to 13 regular season games a week.
Right check on farm.
Hey, Brett. Hey, John.
So stock up on all your favorites. NFL Sunday Ticket. It's not on cable. See it on DirecTV. So what are you looking at?
Attention shoppers. Now get $200 worth of programming when you get DirecTV.
This week, the new 2020 premieres on 3 nights. Wednesday, find out how not to get ripped off when you buy a car.
Join Sam Donaldson and me for the premiere of the new 2020 Wednesday.
You know, in the last play, after the ball was hit the ground, you could see Shepard actually point to the sideline to his quarterback, like say, throw it out there. You know, I hated that as a quarterback. I don't want anybody making me look bad, especially on national television. And I want to see separation from those two players.
Regional television was okay, though, right?
No television. None.
Chuck Levy at the 11-yard line runs it back up to the 26-yard line. George help in an important game for each team. Each is 1-1. Dallas and the Giants next Monday as on first down, Garrison Hurst gets out to the 32-yard line. The reflecting pool. Washington Monument foreground and the U.S. Capitol in the background.
The Washington defense has now got to make a stop, guys. This is a point in the game where they have to rise up and they have to at least try to slow them down a little bit.
49ers tonight averaging 7 yards per play, already 175 yards.
And here goes Steve audibling now. He can see the secondary, so he's trying to get his players to a different play.
And on 2nd and 4, that's too high and off the hands of Terrell Owens, who is 6'3", and Young hits the grass. Steve.
You know, audibling on the road like this is a very difficult thing to get done, but when you are a veteran offense like they are, he can do that and take chances, but he takes whacks.
That's Dana Stubblefield, I believe, who just, and Steve, he gives the look of a guy whose left arm looked like it was bothering him a little bit. He kind of clutched it to his body. Look at Stubblefield right here, go around Chris Dahlman in the center.
3rd down and 4 with 4:41 to the half. Young throws and perfectly placed into the arms of J.J. Stokes. And a flag is thrown.
Full start, 83 offense. Penalty.
So,
3rd down.
So loud that Stokes was the guy who gets called for the false start.
You're a wide receiver. I'm sorry, Dan.
No, I was just going to say that's the 4th false start on the 49ers offense so far.
And as a wide receiver, you have no business jumping offside. You can't hear the quarterback anyway. You have to watch the ball. You can see at the top of the screen. He moves before the ball is snapped. You have to really concentrate, especially on the road. Wide receivers have no business jumping offside because they can't hear the quarterback anyway.
3rd and 9 from the 27-yard line. Young, deep, open is Rice. And Jerry gets caught from behind at the 15 by Darrell Green. 2 guys going to the Hall of Fame, and Darrell proving at least that he's a little faster than Jerry.
Well, that's not the first receiver that Darrell Green has ever caught from behind. You talk about Chuck Levy and his speed relative to the rest of the National Football League, and Darrell Green appears to be in some pain. Steve Young stayed alive in the pocket, and a perfect post pattern. Chris Dishman not able to stay with Jerry Rice. But what speed out of Darrell Green, and Darrell got up limping a little bit.
Nice time, Steve. Darrell, go out.
Darrell Green, 38 years old. Jerry Rice will be 36 years old in the middle of the season.
You know, again, you talk about perfect play calls versus defenses. Right now, Darrell Green is one-on-one with Jerry Rice. The safety is taken across the middle. Actually, Chris Dishman, I'm sorry, and Chris Dishman can't stay with Jerry Rice one-on-one. He just can't do it, especially when you have the whole middle of the field wide open.
How many corners can stay with an NFL caliber receiver on a post pattern where the safeties are gone, Boomer?
When you're going to play tough bump and run coverage, you're going to lock up guys man on man. You better get to that quarterback. You let a guy like Herman Moore, Jerry Rice, Rob Moore from Arizona get down the field on you, big plays are going to happen.
Jerry Rice last week, a typical game for him. By the way, that what you just saw was Green trying to get back in the game, but the official said, look, we had to take an injury timeout for you, so you have to sit out one play. So he's fine, but he has to be out for this play. And Young goes that way and winds up Smith, the tight end, for the touchdown.
You could have bet everything you had that there's no way that Steve Young is handing off over right guard to Garrison Hurst with Darrell Green on the sideline. There's no way you don't go to that side of the field with Darrell out of the game.
Well, you saw the whole thing. Green comes off limping. He's fine, wants to stay in. The official said, no, we stopped the clock because of you. You have to sit out of play. Young, of course, sees all of this. Hello.
Now, Darrell Green would not normally be lined up on the tight end, and it wouldn't be his responsibility. And here comes a late flag after the extra point. But still, anytime Darrell Green is not in the game for the Redskins, there is some uncertainty as to how they're going to defend that side of the field.
Steve Young, who has rushed for a touchdown tonight, in addition to throwing for a couple.
And what I like about the 49er offense is they work you inside, they work you outside.
The extra point is good. We have a personal foul for a 15-yard face mask after the extra point on the defensive team.
The number, Larry?
Number 94.
Thank you.
The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
So Steve Young for the touchdown. And the Niners are now up, and the penalty is on Stubblefield. 21-10. Pass rating system, that is actually the highest pass rating a quarterback can have, because they take into account completions and attempts, yardage, touchdown percentage, and of course the interceptions really hurt you. And as Green walks that off, for this game alone, that's as high as a quarterback's rating can be, even with the two incompletions.
He's putting a clinic on the way he's reading defenses inside out, and the guys are running wide open.
Now the kickoff from the 45-yard line should go into outer space after the penalty against Stubblefield. That one winds up in Alexandria.
Almost left Raljon.
It did. It did leave Raljon. Raljon's that small. Monday Night Football being brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, official NFL sponsor. Nissan reminds you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. And new Advil Liquid Gels, pain relief at the speed of liquid. Dan mentioned Raljon. That's the name of this area. It's surrounded by Landover, which is the home, of course, or used to be the home of the old Washington Bullets and the Capitals. And it brings us to what we said at the top of this show. This stadium named for Jack Kent Cooke. The town is named for Cooke's two sons. And there is John, who is the John and Raljon, and the late Ralph. And this team, as I said at the top, for sale. With Green to throw, and it is caught by Michael Westbrook, and he takes it to the 42 of San Francisco, where he's run down by Langham after a big game.
This could be shades of last week for the 49ers if they don't get to Trent Green. They had trouble stopping the Jets passing game. Trent does a really nice job of putting the ball right on the money here. One of the most difficult passes to throw is the quick slant post like this, and to deliver it on time. Troy Aikman made a living on this when Norv Turner was his offensive coordinator down in Dallas.
And it's a first down, a 38-yard gain from the 42-yard line. And this is Allen. And to finish the story, if you haven't heard about the Redskins, when Jack Kent Cooke died, all of his assets went into a trust, and the trust is compelled to sell the team. Now, that does not mean the Cooke family loses control. In fact, John Cooke told us before the game and sent a memo to his employees on Friday and said, I will buy this team. I will be the owner of the team, but it has to go into a bidding process.
And talking to John before the game, he seems to be very confident that he's going to be able to line up the investors and retain control of the Redskins.
Green hits, he throws. There's all kinds of action going on, and interference goes down. Langham and Westbrook.
Antonio Langham runs Michael Westbrook clear out of bounds.
What I like about this series for the Washington Redskins, they're throwing the ball downfield and they're going after them.
Defensive pass interference, 43, first down.
I don't know what Antonio Langham was thinking about, putting a hand in the chest of Michael Westbrook and knocking him clear out of bounds.
And then arguing about it.
Yes, that's about as blatant an interference call as you'll see.
First and goal after a 33-yard penalty. And they give it to Bowie, and Larry Bowie picks up a yard or so.
I'll tell you right here, a good strategy for Washington would just be to take it easy and let's run the clock down. Let's not give San Francisco an opportunity.
And they catch their breath at the 2-minute warning. On the move and down by 11. Back in the nation's capital, Al Michaels with Dan Dierdorf, Boomer Esiason, and Leslie Visser. Good first half. 2-minute warning. San Francisco up by 11, but it's second down and goal for the Washington Redskins at the 3-yard line. Green. Oh, touchdown. Right on the money to Shepard. His second TD catch.
What a nice throw by Trent Green. Rolling to his left and throwing it against his body. We could have a pick against Washington.
We also have a flag.
What a terrific throw by Trent Green, however. That looks like it might be called back.
Personal foul for a 15-yard face mask on the offensive team, number 82. 15-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Whoa, baby, Michael Westbrook. What a monstrous penalty to take a touchdown off the scoreboard. Whoa.
They had a touchdown last week, called back because of a penalty as well.
Remember now, these are the two combatants when Langham got called for interference. Oh, and the right hand of Michael Westbrook just dragging Langham's head down.
Certainly Michael Westbrook didn't mean to do that, but these guys have been battling and battling all night long. It's getting physical. It's getting nasty.
Second down and goal now from the 18. 6 points go wasting. And Green under pressure. He's going to get sacked at the 23, and it's going to be third and goal. Young, the first guy to come in there, Brian Young, and then he's taken down.
Boomer, you got to like the fact that Trent Green thought about throwing it down the middle of the field, thought better of it, and tucked it in.
Well, this is one of the things that Norv Turner said. He likes his decision-making. Last week, Gus threw 2 interceptions. Gus Farrat did 2 interceptions that obviously led to points for the Giants. He wants his quarterback to make the proper decisions. He wants him to be safe, and especially at this part of the field right here.
And timeout is taken here as Green comes over to discuss what is going to be a goal for the Redskins, who at one point in the game tonight had a 7-0 lead. But the 49ers have been on 3 touchdown marches. Washington with a field goal in the interim, and now trying to get to within 4.
A sack, not the best thing in the world right there, but still, it's not a backbreaker. They've got an opportunity to still get a touchdown or maybe advance some yards and, you know, make it a little better field goal situation.
Another sack might be a backbreaker here. Third down and goal, and it's caught underneath. And it's Michael Westbrook who takes it to the 18. But that face mask penalty, as the 49ers now take a timeout, they'll conserve some time here, smartly knowing the Redskins are reduced to going for a field goal. And Michael Westbrook, well, he'd like to put a mask on his own face right now.
Give the 49ers credit for calling a timeout. How much confidence they have in their offense. Right now, all the Redskins were trying to do there was just make a completion, get some yards, and make it a little bit easier of a field goal. But penalties, fumbles, interceptions have been the thing that has really hurt the Redskins the last 2 weeks.
Another look there, you saw Michael Westbrook with that right hand grab onto the face mask of Antonio Langham.
Last year, Michael Westbrook, you'll recall the play where he took his helmet off here against the Giants on a very key play. 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, and that was a killer in a game they had to win and wound up as a 7-7 tie. Now Blanton with Matt Turk holding it. This is a 34-yard field goal. No.
Hits the upright and bounces out.
And so that face mask penalty not only cost them 4, it cost them 7.
And Jim Mora Jr. there, the defensive back coach of the 49ers, talks to Antonio Langham and said, look, you dodged a huge bullet there on that interference call. Plenty of leg, well up the upright, but a solid hit.
About 20 seconds ago, I said the Redskins would like to work the clock all the way down. And this is the exact reason why. Let's see if Steve Young keeps his understanding of the Redskin defense where it is at a very high rate.
49ers have one timeout. It's first down as Young throws, and that's caught by Hurst. And Hurst takes it up to the 36 for a first down. Stopped by Patton. Young conserving that last timeout. Clock ticking down, 1:10.
And you can see Steve signaling on the road so his receivers know what the play is that he's going to run.
Steve comes to the near side, and that's incomplete. It's Terrell Owens reaching for it and can't pull it in. The Sheriff, Stanley Richard, with the coverage.
Now, Dan, one of the areas that you can work on the field here is short 5-yard passes. They have the ability, and you'll see him do that, where these guys can make catches and run with the football. There's really no reason to force it down the field.
And this is also a situation, Boomer, where Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator of the Redskins, would love to get pressure on Steve Young with only his front four. You've got a lot of money tied up in that front four, and you'd like to put pressure without having to blitz.
2nd and 10 from the 36-yard line. Young into double coverage and incomplete, trying to thread it into Jerry Rice, and Darrell Green covering on the play.
A lot of time for Steve Young to stand in the pocket and look downfield. An awfully good delivery by Steve. It was right on Rice's hands.
And you can see number 37, Stanley Richard, is not going to get duped by coming up again and getting beat over the top by a post and leaving Darrell Green out there by himself. So this time Steve had to lay it up over, and it gave Darrell Green a chance to get back into the play and make a play on the ball.
Look how effectively Green got that right hand in there and pulled down both of Jerry Rice's arms.
3rd and 10. Young with a pump fake, scrambles out to his right. Rice is still underneath. Then he throws, and incomplete, intended for Ihani Owezike. He had Rice going short. He had Levy short as well. And then Owezike went down the sideline as Greg Jones put the pressure on Young.
Talk about dodging a bullet. Well, the Redskin defense did just that. Steve Young is dangerous when he gets outside the pocket. He keeps his head up the field, his eyes open, looking for players. This was close. This was real close to being a touchdown.
The guy's going to be 37 years old next month, and look at the way he works the field.
It's going to make me want to get back into the gym.
Eddie Howard, a pickup before the season, the regular season, after he had been in training camp with the Skins. And one of the reasons Washington probably waived him was a kick like that. Out of bounds at the 33-yard line. That boot is just 31 yards. A reminder, Thursday night, Mel Gibson, Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon 3. You'll see it on ABC this Thursday.
That could be a description of the 49er offense.
Well, we will be interested to see now how Trent Green handles his own 2-minute drill. This is something that you practice twice a week, usually on Thursday and Friday during the week. And this is really the true test of how a quarterback grasps his offense.
And emotionally, can they overcome having a touchdown taken away?
They have all 3 timeouts, and the pass is caught up at the 39 by Asher. They have to take a timeout immediately.
Good job.
You
can see Norv Turner's trying to get everybody to call timeout. The quarterback's got to know. He should go in there and say, hey, look, to the referee who stands behind him, after the play is ruled dead, I want a timeout immediately. This is something that coaches should be telling the quarterbacks, and Trent's probably not been in this situation quite a few times, but he should be able to go to the the referee and say, hey, I want a timeout.
But you still have to ask for it.
He's hurting a little bit.
He won't just automatically give it to you after the play is over.
No, but what that does for you, it reminds you as a player, even if you get hit like he did on that last play, that, hey, I got to call timeout.
Norv's trying to call a timeout. Meanwhile, Green was hit on the hand and was shaking that off on his way back to the sideline.
Well, we know the coaches cannot call timeout. It has to be somebody on the field, and that whole offense should know that.
And anybody on the field can call the timeout. In the old days, only the captain could call a timeout.
Captain by captain. 2nd down and 4. That's thrown underneath into the arms of Mitchell. He'll take it to the 50. They need another timeout in the queue. Now they have 1 remaining, but they still need a lot of yardage to get into field goal range.
But with that 1 timeout left, That means that they are allowed now, they're afforded the middle of the field.
Absolutely, and really a deep down the middle of the field would be fine right here. One of the things that I like about Trent Green and what I've seen thus far in the first half, he's poised, he sits in the pocket, he's taking a hit, he doesn't seem rattled.
Well, I think the one thing we can say for sure, Boomer, regardless of what happens here in the second half, I think Trent Green is going to get more of an opportunity to quarterback the Redskins than just tonight's game. You get the feeling he's going to be given a good shot that extends beyond tonight.
It's all about moving the football team. He had a touchdown called back, and he didn't fumble the ball. So thus far, it looks like he's done a good job.
Have to get about 15 to 20 yards to get into field goal range, and Green throws, and the catch is made, and inbounds at the 34. Chris Thomas, a one-time 49er, is able to come down with it with 12 ticks left.
And this would be about a 52-yarder if they tried it from here, but they still have time to run another play. They didn't have to burn their time out there.
It's a smart play call if you can get to the sideline like this, and watch Thomas do the old tippy toe.
So if you just pick up another 7 or 8 yards, you're somewhere down there around 45 yards for your field goal attempt.
And don't be afraid to work the middle of the field right now.
From the shotgun. Key play. Green seeks the sidelines. He's out of bounds. They conserved that timeout, but still now they're compelled to kick here with 29 seconds. Or 20 at the 29-yard line, the line of scrimmage, and 5 ticks left.
Norv Turner said he liked the ability of Green moving around, and he's making plays. He's being decisive.
But he got them inside 50 yards for that field goal. This will be about a 42, 43-yarder?
A little bit more than that. 40. They're going to start it at the 37. Yeah. It's a 47-yarder. Matt Turk will hold it. He's made one from 37, missed one from 34. 47-yard attempt is off the crossbar. So an upright and a crossbar.
Although I called it national, I still got here. I think either one's acceptable.
Second half begins. Redskins will get the ball, and that's a great kickoff by Wade Ritchie, who was in the Seattle camp and just signed on with the 49ers prior to their opening game. Let's take a look at the numbers through the first half of play with the 49ers up by 11 points. You have over 500 yards in offense.
Where's the defense gone?
Where is that D?
It has to be positive, though, for the Redskins after last week's debacle up in Giants Stadium against the New York Giants. And Trent Green has certainly held up his end of the game.
Now from the 20-yard line, the Redskins begin the first drive of the second half with Terry Allen turning the corner, and a big gain, 25 yards out to the 45 off a Larry Bowie block.
Something that is increasingly more difficult to do in the National Football League, and that is to break, contain, and get around the corner. Everybody has such fine speed, but Bowie that time on Merton Hanks kicks him out. Allen turns it upfield, and that's a nice way to start a half for an offensive football team. Pick up that many yards on the ground.
And then they give it to Allen again, and he takes it to the 50, so he's accounted for all of the offense thus far in the second half. Let's check in with Leslie Visser.
Al, at halftime, Norv Turner said he can't ask Trent Green to do much more, but they needed more from what we just saw from Terry Allen. He said we weren't giving him enough help. The touchdown called back, the fumble, the turnover. So he said that so far, though, he's very impressed with Green. And Mariucci said the same thing. He said we've got to put more pressure on him. We only got to Glenn Foley once last week. Al.
All right, thank you, Leslie. Allen rushed for 49 yards in the first half, but he already has 30 here, and that's knocked away as Walker is covering Shepard on the play. Incomplete and second down.
Walker's had a solid game thus far. He's making the breaks on the ball. That time he read a little slant pattern. Trent Green's got to be careful of letting his eyes follow his receiver. Those guys are peeking in the backfield.
That's about the fourth time so far this game, Boomer, that Walker has been sitting all over a Leslie Shepard pattern.
If I'm an offensive coach and I'm sitting up in a booth, I'm saying we have to double move him. We have to give him something to get him off the short routes.
Normal starter at corner, Marquez Pope, missed last week's game as well with that lower back injury.
Here's the blitz, 3rd down and 5, and he gets it away and picks up the 1st down. Brian Mitchell makes the catch, needed 5, got 7, covered by McDonald. And actually, they were short. Short of the 1st down.
Again, here comes the fire zone. The way defenses are calling plays now is they're trying to force the quarterback into throwing quick, flat patterns and getting rid of the ball quickly. And that time, Trent Green did that. But there's a player waiting for him out in the flat.
That's Dan Turk snapping to his brother Mac Turk, the Pro Bowl punter. Turk to Turk. And the punt is caught at the 1-yard line by Chris Thomas, a wide receiver. So he's used to being the outside guy, going down just like he was catching a pass. Great play. Pins the Niners at the 2.
I feel a presence. Harold, is that you?
I believe I can call.
I think I'll use the phone in the hall.
I call my friends just to say hi.
With 5 cents Sundays from MCI.
My Space Jam buddies and I stay in close touch with MCI's 5 cent Sundays.
Just 5 cents a minute. Every minute. Every Sunday.
Along with low rates all week long. Call 1-800-Sundays to become an MCI customer.
I believe I can call.
Dave and Ann got tickets for the opera last weekend. So to get in the mood, they listened to it in their new Ford Explorer. Turns out the opera was about some guy who goes through the deepest woods, climbs the highest mountains, and braves the wildest rivers just to reach the one he loved. Obviously, it was inspiring stuff. Hey, some people just get more inspired than others. Ford Explorer, built Ford tough.
All in all, I hate being divorced. I try to find the good in it. I'm finally able to take a nice, peaceful...
The Secret Lives of Men premieres September 30th on ABC.
49ers are pinned deep as they begin this drive from their own 2. A minute and 41 seconds into the 3rd period.
This is where Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson and Dana Stubblefield have to take over down in here. Get some pressure up the middle.
Steve Young on 1st down hands the ball to Garrison Hurst. He gives them breathing space. Gain of 5 out to the 7.
Offenses will try to do 1 or 2 things down here. They'll try to run it up the gut to give the offense a little bit more room behind them, or they might even take a shot down the field.
Last week, that was the 4th longest run in the history of the National Football League, equaling the 4th. Tony Dorsett on a Monday night went 99, or as Don Meredith said that night, 99 and a half. And then Andy Urim, it was all the way back when for a 98. One other run was longer, and then there was Hurst at 96. Young gets hit as he throws from the blind side, but delivers the ball to Edwards at the 30, and Steve is sprawled. And a flag goes down, and now Young gets up as he was blasted by Kennard Lang, their #1 choice in 1997.
Well, Steve stood in the pocket forever. Lang was coming from the defensive end position, and he had about a 5-yard running start at Steve Young.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, driving him into the ground. 15 yards added to the end of the completed pass.
That's Lang, number 90. Watch him get up. I don't think it's how late he hit him. It's that he drove him into the ground intentionally.
You cannot pile drive a quarterback into the ground like that.
Right.
You can hear the Redskin fans' reaction because they can see it on the big board, and it doesn't look so ominous up there. But you cannot pick the quarterback up and pile drive him into the ground like that.
That's different than a late hit. Let's take a look at it from this angle.
I would probably tell you that Norv Turner would tell Kennard Lang, don't do anything differently. That's a definite judgment call by the referee.
First down at the 45-yard line. And when the crowd's still in an angry mood, it is Hurst who picks up a couple.
If I were a Redskin defender, I'd be in an angry mood.
Well, you can certainly see Kennard Lang. You know, he's got to be saying to himself, what else am I supposed to do? I've got the guy. Our momentum is taking us toward the ground. I can't suspend myself in midair.
But you can just fall on the guy. You don't have to pick him up and, you know, drive him into the ground like that. Boy, that hurts, too. That's probably going to leave a mark.
Second down and 7. From the 48-yard line as Young throws, and that's incomplete off the fingertips of J.J. Stokes.
Why don't we go back and revisit that one more time? Now, Boomer, did he pick Steve Young up and drive him into the ground?
Well, he's got him, and he's taking him down and throwing his entire body weight on top of him. It's a judgment call. You know, personally, from up here looking at it over and over and over again, it's a little shaky.
Last time I checked, it is a contact sport.
Will you please stop?
And quarterbacks wear pads, too.
Third down and 7. A little screen is set up, and it's broken up as Greg Jones, the linebacker, was able to tip it.
And quarterbacks are the ones that are defenseless taking the hits. How tough is it to hit a guy standing there without a football?
That was a nice third down play by the Redskin defense, forcing a punt. And they desperately needed that.
Because this drive started at the 2, they couldn't pin them deep. Had they done that, the Redskins might have gotten the ball back near midfield. Now they're going to get the ball back unless Mitchell runs back a beauty deep in their own territory. Eddie Howard to punt. A little floater, not very long, and a fair catch is called for and made in traffic. And Mitchell said, I was interfered with, but there is no laundry out there.
The hitting's getting a little rough here. Boomer's starting to groan.
They'll take it at the 21-yard line. 11:21 left, and Redskins have the ball at their own 20-yard line. The Niner defensive unit. Last week a little leaky. Tonight a little bit better. There's the QB comparison. Young with better numbers, but nothing wrong with the numbers put up by Green. 67% at over 170 yards, and Green throws and nobody's home. So miscommunication there. And it's second down. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Ford Explorer, built Ford tough. Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. And McDonald's celebrating 30 years of the Big Mac sandwich.
Neither one of the quarterbacks has thrown an interception. Really, the only turnover in the game so far has been a fumble by Terry Allen. Although you certainly have to look at that penalty on Michael Westbrook. That's the equivalent of a turnover when you take a touchdown off the scoreboard.
Absolutely. Second down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Allen ripped by Brenson Buckner, the ex-Pittsburgh Steeler.
And Cincinnati Bengal.
Everybody's an ex-Bengal.
No, everybody is an ex-teammate of Boomer's.
When you get around like I did, boy, I'll tell you, you got a lot of guys.
Boomer, I'm beginning to think, since Boomer knows all these guys, Boomer is the quintessential journeyman quarterback, right?
Okay.
Well, you do know a lot of Cardinals. I'll tell you what, the Cardinals.
They've been on a journey since the inception.
All it takes is one trip to Arizona, and you have played with half the guys in the league. Third down and 9 from the 21. And Green throws, and the flag is thrown. Michael Westbrook was the nearest receiver, and Antonio Langham provided the coverage.
Well, that time it looked like Westbrook busted his pattern. It looked like Trent Green wanted him to come back. And he didn't, and it caused a penalty against the 49ers.
Well, Langham, he certainly hit Westbrook.
Number 43, first down.
The ball's in the air, and you're right, it is a broken pattern. But Langham kind of spears Westbrook right here. Well, he doesn't hit him with a helmet, but he just lunges at him and pushes him with his hands.
The thing there, though, that was a double move finally. They're running it on the wrong guy. You want to run it on the other side against Darnell Walker. And it looked to me as if Trent Green did not understand really what Westbrook was doing there.
21-yard penalty, first down from the 42-yard line. And Allen slants to the right side, picks up 5 up to the 47.
This looks like the Terry Allen from a couple years ago, doesn't it?
He's running with authority, getting to the outside. He is getting around the corner on the 49er defense with some regularity, and that's something you don't see very often.
You were talking about earlier his running style. I mean, he is a rough and tumble guy. You can see right there a 6.1 average. That's pretty good.
Well, at 208 pounds, you have to say that he runs really big for his size.
2nd and 5 from the 47. Allen takes the toss. Wrapped up, back of the line of scrimmage. Roy Barker, ex-Viking.
Well, that time Terry Allen tried to cut it to the outside, and Roy Barker played the corner just the way a defensive end should. Never backed off the line of scrimmage, but floated right down the line of scrimmage and was in a position to make a play on somebody going to the outside. There's Barker down in his stance. Watch the way he plays off Brad Badger, stays on the line, and then has the upfield speed to get all over Terry Allen. That's textbook on how you play the edge as a defensive end.
3rd and 6. San Francisco up by 11. 3rd quarter as Green slings it to the outside, and that's incomplete. And Merton Hanks, there's a flag down back when Green went down where he was. No flag in relation to the pass play. Jeff Posey.
Foul. Roughing the passer. Throw to the back. In the back of the helmet. 15 yards. First down.
It's Jeff Posey, who's number 96, a backup to Chris Stolman.
Well, again, Larry Nemmers, our referee, says it was because it was a helmet-to-helmet blow to the back of the head.
And the officials signify a timeout here while they work on a player. Chris Thomas, the number 3 wide receiver. That's the reason for the injury timeout. Now back to the penalty.
Posey coming from the bottom of the screen. Referee Larry Nemmers said that he hit Trent Green in the back of the head. He really doesn't. He hits him on the shoulder pad.
I know my family would have appreciated Larry Nemmers.
But keep in mind, Nemmers was on the far side of the quarterback.
Now on first down from the 40, that's off the fingertips and intercepted. Winfred Tubbs over from the Saints as James Jenkins, the tight end, couldn't handle it, and the 49ers pick it off.
This ball just gets away from Trent a little bit and goes right through Jenkins' hands. That's a tough play for a receiver to make or a tight end to make a play across the middle like that, exposed. However, it did go through his hand. He probably should have caught that ball, Dan.
Turnover story. The Niners, when they have a turnover advantage, are 70-1 over their last 71 games. And here is Hurst with a burst to the outside to the 46-yard line. Stanley Richards finally runs him down.
What's amazing about the 49ers is that they don't turn the ball over.
No, tonight they haven't turned it over at all, and the Skins have turned it over twice. And as Dan said, that Westbrook thing might as well have been another one.
Right. When you play the 49ers, you have to be clean. You can't commit penalties. You can't commit turnovers because they're not going to do it.
No. Just look at the quality of the people that handle the ball for the 49ers.
Ken Harvey just limped off the field. The middle linebacker for Washington, and this is Edwards now carrying the ball for a gain of 2. Bernard Lang is there for the stop. And Harvey works it off. Harvey, another one of those ex-Cardinals we were talking about. Ken has had a real good career, but he is a guy who has never played in a postseason game. An 11-year career.
He's actually had an outstanding career, like 4 Pro Bowls. Ken Harvey, one of the fine pass rushing linebackers in the game of football.
Now Young on a roll. That's caught by Irv Smith, the tight end, who scored a touchdown in the first half for a big gain to the 26 and a first down with Harvey back in the game.
It just shows that there's a lot of good fortune involved in this game about who drafts you or where you play and the quality of the teammates that surround you when you talk about a guy like Ken Harvey.
And when you have the mobility of a Steve Young, you can do a lot of different things in your backfield. You can confuse defenses. And again, the 49ers go right after a player who has left the field of play as an injury, and they come right back and go attack him next play.
from the 27-yard line. Young, a ton of time, throws, caught by Stokes. Green runs him out, first down at the 11.
Dan, you talk about getting into the playoffs and making it to the Super Bowl. Hey, let's face it, when you're a 49er, and you're a 49er in the 80s and the 90s, you expect to make it to the playoffs.
Yes, you do. And right now, like holding a very heavy weight in your hands, there's only so long that you can hold it up. Right about now, the weight of the 49ers is starting to get a little heavy for the Redskins. The 49ers right now are putting more pressure on the Redskins right now than it seems they can handle.
From the split back set, they give the ball to Hurst. Inside the 5 and Garrison down to the 2. Stopped by Campbell. Well, if Steve Young can rush for a touchdown, he'll close in on the all-time leader. Young now second on that list with his 38th rushing career touchdown. And the all-time leader, and it's appropriate, we're in Washington, was Jack Kemp, who rushed for 40 career touchdowns.
Not the first guy that comes to mind when you think about rushing quarterbacks.
Second down and 1 from the 2.
Touchdown.
Young throwing, and it's Edwards. And if he is not a clone and a twin of Tom Rathman, I don't know who is.
He was their second-round draft choice last year, and there's Rathman over on the sideline, his coach. And they drafted him from Notre Dame in the image of Rathman, and again, it's just the beauty of the entire offensive scheme of the 49ers, the way they distribute the ball. Everybody participates.
Wade Ritchie for the point after, Ty Detmer to put it down. 3 touchdown passes for Steve Young. Rathman happy with his charge. The Redskins walk off dejectedly, and it's 28-10. Sunday, Philadelphia and Arizona is the ESPN Sunday night matchup. And we go to the Meadowlands a week from tonight where the New York Giants, 1-1, host the Dallas Cowboys with a mark of 1-1 next week on Monday Night Football. Wade Ritchie to kick off. Mitchell and James Thrash are back deep, and this will be Thrash, a wide receiver by trade, running it back to the 17-yard line. Now, on Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen, Boomer Esiason, we're advertising Boomer's contract because he and Meredith Vieira will be your host.
Now, what is it? There she goes, or here she comes?
I don't have
whatever
to sing. I do not have to sing. I'm not looking forward to singing, but Meredith and I are going to have a great time. I'll be thinking about you guys.
Yeah, I bet you will.
We'll be thinking about you, sweetheart. First down from the 18-yard line. And for a gain of 5, Terry Allen up to the 23.
Now, do you wear black tie, or do you wear your turtle tie?
No, I can't wear my turtle tie, but I am going to be in a sleek tuxedo, looking good.
We'll be the judge of that. Are you going to have a custom-made tuxedo? Are you going to be decked out in a...
Oh, I'll be decked out. I'll be looking good. Don't you worry about it.
You know, the guy...
Are you kidding me?
This guy's puffing up over here. Al, look at him. He's going to prop a button.
Dan, you and I are doing luncheons for Cobb Salads, and Boomer's on Miss America. On the big screen tonight, here's Allen up to the 27-yard line.
I never thought that I'd ever get a gig like that, though, guys.
Do you need a spotter? Malibu Kelly Hayes is available to spot for you.
Should we tell him that we turned it down?
Yeah, right.
We were going to do it together.
No, they needed somebody a little bit taller, a little bit thinner, and a lot better looking.
Gotcha.
Oh, boy, so much for...
And younger,
so much for a rookie's humility.
Oh, what a great country.
Third down.
It is for you.
Yeah, wait till you see the reviews. 3rd and 1 from the 27. And that's thrown low and incomplete. And that's the last thing in the world the Redskins need, down by 18 to go 3 and out at this point in the game.
3rd and 1 there. Trent Green just tried to guide it in there. He tried to aim it instead of just throwing it. And that's a hard thing for a young quarterback to get out of the system and just rear it back and let it go. Don't worry about trying to aim it there. It'll get there.
Now Matt Turk to punt.
And now a lot of pressure is going to fall directly on the Redskin defense
to keep this from getting ugly. R.W. McQuarters was their first-round draft choice as a defensive back, and that is McQuarters taking it from the 16. And Robert Williams, what the R.W. stands for, is out of bounds at the 27. Niners get it back. 4:36 left in the third. San Francisco 28, Washington 10. At the moment, as their Skins are down by 18, and the 49ers have it at the 28-yard line, and Steve Young, having another vintage night, starts this drive.
So accurate, so poised, and so smart.
From the 28, first, you know, on the pregame show I mentioned, and I was not being whimsical. Steve Young does have his mind set on public service at some point. He could very well run for the Senate someday from his native state in Utah. He comes into our meeting last night. How many quarterbacks carry the entire Washington Post and the New York Times with them? And I said, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm trying to get to the whole Star Report. I said, you're going to read the Star Report and your playbook? I said, who are you rooming with, Evelyn Wood? Steve is a Renaissance man. 2nd down and 8 from the 30-yard line. That's juggled and dropped by, of all people, Jerry Rice. Stop the pressures.
That's right. You don't see that too often. Obviously, he just took his eye off the ball and wanted to run with it before he caught it. But you know what? That's okay, Jerry. You could drop one every now and again. Seems like once every 3 or 4 years he'll drop a ball.
Was that a major league push-off by Jerry Rice?
Hey, you can get away with it. He's Jerry Rice. It's one of the things that the 49ers do. Everybody realizes that Jerry Rice likes to run those shallow crosses all the way across the field. They'll start him there, and then he'll break away and break open free just like that.
Well, he just launched Darryl Green with a stiff arm.
3rd down and 8. And that's caught over the middle, and J.J. Stokes gets hog-tied. Dan Wilkinson put the pressure on Young, but the 49ers have another first down.
But that's where the hit on Stokes is made 2 yards short of the first down. But when a receiver is 6'4", 225 pounds, that's a lot of forward momentum to try to arrest in just a couple of yards.
And that's where those receivers like it, to catch it running out in front of them. And you could see this time that Dan Wilkinson actually pulls back on Steve Young after he hits him. He gives him a good shot, but he won't run him into the ground. Straight up a flag.
From the 39-yard line, Hurst tripped up as he tries to turn the corner. Chris Dishman comes up to stop him. A little over 3 minutes to go. The Niners go home. One thing about playing in the NFC West these days, you can have a pretty soft schedule. Their next game is against Atlanta. And with no lack of respect for the Falcons, who are off to a good start, they play Atlanta, then at Buffalo, at New Orleans, Indianapolis, and St. Louis in the next 5 games after an open date. And the Redskins, though, they have a whole other thing. They go to Seattle for starters next week.
But at least if you're going to fall to 0-2, the NFC East is not the worst place to do it. That might be the only thing the Redskins have working in their favor.
Especially these days, and especially after the injury to Troy Aikman. The Giants lose yesterday, and the Dallas faces New York. So no matter what happens tonight, there'll be no more than one game
defense,
back.
Number 95, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
You know, we're only 1/8 of the way through the season, guys, and really the one thing that you have to do as a head coach in this league is you have to make sure that your players don't read into all the media reports. Don't listen to all the naysayers. It's one of the most difficult aspects of the NFL. It's keeping the emotions high and the team positive.
Have you ever noticed what a tall, thin, good-looking guy he is?
Younger, wealthier, or whatever else.
Oh, gosh.
Opinionated. He has it all, doesn't he?
It's nice to be here as a courtier. It's a first down as J.J. Stokes makes the catch at the 31-yard line.
You know, I heard that about you guys.
Yes.
Just relax a little bit, take it easy.
We're just awestruck. It's hard for us to. We'll work through it. We'll get it.
Just happy to be here.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, so I'm happy to. 3 Musketeers.
Don't ever hit me again.
3 Stooges.
I'm a little disappointed for the Redskins, who had a chance to make it a 21-17 game at halftime. and now to find themselves in this predicament. You just wonder what kind of second half we would have seen if they were only down by 4 at halftime.
That face mask penalty against Michael Westbrook was a killer.
Yes.
Because it makes it a 21-17 game instead of 21-10, as it turned out.
When you're a team that is just trying to get over that hump, and Norv Turner here in his 5th year still trying to assemble his first playoff team, you're just waiting for something good to happen to your ball club. And last week they lose to the Giants at the Meadowlands, a game they very easily could have won, and they'll wonder about this one when it's over. Could we have won it if we wouldn't have self-destructed?
2nd and 2. Fake to Levy, and the pass is tipped and nearly picked off.
But this one is not over yet. I mean, they're just basically a turnover away from getting back into the game. And as a coach, a player on the sideline of the Redskins, you're hoping for a break. That was real close to a break right there. And you always have to think in the back of your mind that you're just a turnover away from getting back into it. 18 points is not that difficult to get back into it, especially if something happens good for you.
But as you well know, Boomer, it's a lot easier to think like that when you're a consistent winner.
Right, you're right. And hey, look, the Redskins have had 2 winning seasons back-to-back. I mean, they're close. And one of the things by benching Gus Perrott is Norv Turner no longer has the patience for losing.
Last 2 years have been close, but no cigar for Washington. On 3rd and 2, it is Hurst. And this is a 100-yard night for him as he takes it to the 18-yard line. So Garrison, who had the biggest day of any running back last week, follows it up, and he's now up to 106 yards tonight.
You know, Garrison Hurst was a breath of fresh air out in Arizona. He is kind of like the locker room kidder, if you will, for the San Francisco 49ers. He has a great personality about him.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter, or will be in just a few seconds, as the Niners are content to let the clock run down. Change ends of the field. 28-10 is the score. San Francisco, and Monday Night Football resumes after this from our ABC stations. The Redskins attempting to avoid going 0-2, but the Niners have things in hand at the moment. 18-point lead, 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. Young caught by Rice, and he's tackled at the 5. Very shortly, you would think, if both guys stay healthy, Young and Rice will combine for a record, and it's very, very important for Steve. The NFL record for most pitch and catch touchdowns, as Jerry hauls this one in, is 79. Dan Marino and Mark Clayton combined on 79 touchdown receptions. Right now, Young and Rice with 76.
Well, that will be broken in about 4, maybe even the next 2 weeks.
2nd down and 2. And Hurst spins and takes it in for the touchdown.
It's a nice little dance. What is that? Any idea what that is?
I guess his scoring was so apparent that none of the officials gave the touchdown signal.
That's why I hesitated on the call. I'm sitting here going, do we have an official confirmation of this?
It's a touchdown easily for Garrison Hurst, although not officially recognized as such.
Right.
It's going to be a difficult time for Norv Turner to rally his troops now.
35-10, 49ers. Back at Jack Kent Cooke Stadium, the San Francisco 49ers up now by a score of 35-10, and Wade Ritchie's kick pulled in. This is James Thrash from the 3-yard line up to the 22-yard line. Reminder that college football comes your way. Regional action here on ABC, headlined by Missouri against the top-ranked Buckeyes of Ohio State. BYU, Washington, Texas, Kansas State, Clemson, Virginia. Highlighting other regional action this Saturday afternoon right here on ABC.
What a wild start we've seen to the college football season, huh? A lot of...
Yeah.
Michigan can't get it going. Florida State got beat.
Arizona State is 0-2.
Notre Dame beats Michigan. Then they get killed by Michigan State. That's all over the place.
Paul Hackett 2-0 at USC. That's caught by Jamie Asher.
This is where the maturity of a young quarterback begins. You're in a game where you're down by 25 points. You still have to be patient with what you're doing, even though you want to throw the ball downfield, get completions, keep your team moving, keep your defense off the field right now. They're worn out. The 49er offense has basically had their way with them all night long.
2nd and 5 from the 27. Oh, Green gets buried.
Did that ball come out? Yes,
well,
it did.
The ball is still loose. And of all things now,
Kenny Norton comes up with it.
The 49ers get it back.
No, if I was an offensive lineman right now for the Redskins, I'd go over and I'd apologize to Trent Green. He took a wicked shot right in the chest.
Well, I think he's going to take a shot from the best defensive tackle in football, Bryant Young.
Number 68, Joe Patton, has got to get his hands on Bryant Young. He can't let him come free like that. The quarterback doesn't expect the defensive lineman to get in there that quickly, and that's why Trent Green gets hit like this.
The way he goes around him, Boomer, the quickness and the acceleration in just a 2-yard burst by Bryant Young. Now he buries him with a helmet. Now he led with his head and really gave Trent Green a shot.
He'll have a tattoo tonight.
That will leave a mark as well.
From the 23-yard line, Young going for the kill, and he hits Terrell Owens inside the 10, setting up a 1st and goal. Darrell Green on the coverage.
When you watch an offense that's working in full gear, the quarterback is clean. He's standing back there. He's able to see down the field. And the good thing about Steve Young is that he's been around. He's been in this offense. He can see and he reads the defenses so well. Perfectly thrown ball, spiral right into the breadbasket of Terrell Owens.
I mentioned before that Young really wants that record. He and Rice. One of the reasons he'll never say it, but you know, you still have the Montana ghost. He's exercised some of them, the Super Bowl win and the rest, but that is something that's very meaningful to him as Hurst takes it to the fore, because let's face it, Montana to Rice was the big combo in the late 80s and early 90s.
No, I saw that close up, but you know, how fortunate are the 49ers to have 2 of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play in one franchise. You know, a lot of franchises, like the Redskins, are trying to find the quarterback, and they can't do it, and they haven't been able to do it over the years. And the 49ers are blessed to be able to play with Joe Montana and then Steve Young right on top of that.
It's not often that a Hall of Famer gets followed by a Hall of Famer.
Exactly.
2nd down and goal. Rice getting arrested. Young is thrown for 303 yards. And the coverage there by Dishman on J.J. Stokes. As we pointed out numerous times on Monday Night Football, a 300-yard performance by a quarterback has to be looked at a little more closely than just the figures involved, because they lose more often than they win.
Right.
But not tonight.
Well, this kind of 300 yards, though, is a 300 yards that came throughout the bulk of the game and is an extension of their West Coast offense. It's about getting the ball to different players, being accurate, and putting the ball where guys can run with it and reading the defenses. And that's why Joe Montana and Steve Young are 2 of the great ones.
By the way, beautifully played by Chris Dishman.
3rd and goal. Young throwing, and it's not caught by J.J. Stokes. Went to the ground.
I think Darrell Green hit that, didn't he?
Might have deflected it.
I think that was a heck of a play by Darrell Green.
And really what happened there is Stokes just tried to make a play at the back of the end zone, and Darrell Green had his back turned to Steve Young. The athleticism of Darrell Green to be able to turn around and make the play as Steve Young throws it back against the grain.
Does he hit it?
Yes.
Yep, he caught it with his left hand. Whoa. Pretty good extension by a guy that's not very tall.
Wade Ritchie now for a 22-yard field goal. Ty Detmer puts it down, and the 49ers tack on 3 with 11:55 left in the 4th quarter. So San Francisco on its way to going 2-0, extends its lead to 38-10.
It really looked like a hog.
This is Brian Mitchell taking it from the 5-yard line up to the 25-yard line.
Brian Mitchell returns the kickoff.
And a late marker is thrown.
You know, if you're Norv Turner, you just got to hope that all the bad stuff's out the first 2 weeks.
Illegal block in the back, above the waist, during the return, number 98. The 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
And hopefully they'll win a game that You know, every team has, a lot of the teams, I should say, in the NFL, look at their schedule, and realistically, you have to wonder where you can win and where you can't. And now they have to, since they lost their home opener, are going to have to go out and find a team that they can beat that they don't expect to beat.
On first down for the 14, Allen swings to the outside, and Merton Hanks comes up from his safety spot to knock him down. And let's get a word from Leslie.
Al, no one knows better than Trent Green how difficult his assignment is. In the course of 3 weeks, he'll be contrasted with 3 future Hall of Fame quarterbacks, 4 if Troy Aikman is able to come back. Trent told me he's tried not to look down the schedule, but he knows how difficult this is. In fact, he said he's never even met Steve Young, Warren Moon, John Elway, or Troy Aikman.
And you saw that graphic there demonstrating the significant disparity in experience between the fellas he just mentioned and himself, as Green escapes under pressure again and then fires, and it's incomplete. Michael Westbrook was the intended receiver.
I mean, he's running for his life at this point. The defense is not even respecting the run, and they're just laying their ears back and coming after him.
Or as Keith Jackson would say, Boomer, pinning their ears back.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. If I'm a defensive lineman, I want sacks, and this is the part of the game that you can get some. And really, next week they go to play Seattle, and I've even said at the beginning of the season that the Seattle defense is going to be greatly improved, and if their fans get behind them in the Kingdome, how dangerous they can be as an entire team.
So the Redskins have a short week and a long trip going to Seattle, and this play was over before it started. And, well, it would figure that the son of a heavyweight champion would get into a little scrap with Mitchell. My money's on Norton here.
Little airtime without the helmet on always helps. Now, this is where it becomes insulting as a Redskin. I've been on the other side of the ball plenty of times where my team has lost. You know, and it's adding insult to injury right now. That's what the 40...
Actually, a pretty effective job of blocking by Brian Mitchell on Ken Norton, a much bigger man, and the left hand did take off his helmet after the play, but nobody ever looked at Brian Mitchell and said, here's a cheap shot kind of player. You got to give him the benefit of the doubt in that situation.
Tomorrow when the coaches look at the film of this game, they're going to look for players who are playing full speed when the game's out of reach.
And that's knocked out of the arm of Green by Roy Barker.
Well, again, Barker gets a strip, but again, it's the chaos that's being created by Bryant Young. The last 3 times Washington has tried to throw the football, Bryant Young has just exploded the pocket. Number 97 right there is just all over the place. He has forced Trent Green either to get knocked down or to move out of the pocket. Young went by, and as Green tries to step up, there's the strip by Barker.
You might say that Young is killing the Redskins on both sides of the ball.
And he's not doing it softly either.
Offense and defense. Steve on one side, Bryant on the other is the kick. Is a floater to the 42-yard line, and that's where San Fran gets it back. 38-10. Well, JKC is emptying out right now as the Redskin fans have begun to depart.
Right.
Disappointed, and the score 38-10, and Ty Detmer comes in, and Steve Young's night is done, and Garrison Hurst picks up about 4 yards. Ty Detmer picked up as the backup, a guy who has been a starter with the Eagles in recent years. Last year, in fact, there were his numbers. Won the Heisman Trophy at Brigham Young, same school that Steve Young attended. So one Cougar replaces another.
Tell you, there's a lot less pressure on Ty Detmer this time of year than there was last year. Whew. He escaped.
And Ty is a guy who's worked with Steve Mariucci in the past when Mariucci was the quarterback's coach for Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers, and Ty was there. Hurst again inside the 30, skirts the sidelines, and he's out of bounds. But Garrison now in the 2 weeks is well over 300 yards, and he at the moment is the leading rusher in the National Football League for the season.
What wonderful blocking at the point of the attack by the 49ers.
tries like the devil to, oh, and there's that left foot that just goes out of bounds. Garrison Hurst still in this ball game, which is somewhat of a surprise. Steve Young has gone to the sidelines, but a gaudy 6.4 per carry.
You could see him waiting, baiting his time, and just picking a spot and going.
1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. And Detmer falls down within the 23.
Well, I mean, when you go down, you don't want to look bad going down. You know what I'm saying?
Well, are you saying there was a loss of style points there for Denver?
Yeah, he's like, oh, well, you know what? He took a beating last year, so he knows what it's like to get hit a little bit.
The judges are holding up their scorecards, and that got about a 5.7, I think.
First, there he is. No 49er has ever rushed for more yardage in his first 2 games. And Garrison putting his name into the book. He's erasing a lot of Hugh McElhaney's old marks. McElhaney, until last week, had the 3 longest runs in the history of the 49ers. 2nd down, 14. Hurst to the 21.
I'm not looking at the current stats, but I'm assuming after 2 games that he's leading the NFL in rushing.
I mentioned that he is now the leader, despite Terrell Davis's huge day yesterday.
Oh, he's padding his total right now.
I think Terrell made a statement yesterday.
Oh, and Barry Sanders is off to a great start. But that's a shock.
Our man Steve Hurt is telling me that no player in the 90s has had more yardage in the first 2 weeks than Garrison Hurst.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Of course, Barry Sanders off to a great start. What do you have after 2 games last year? Like 50 yards or something? It was some unbelievably low number.
And you've got Chuck Levy getting into the act. Touchdown 49ers. 21 yards. Well, you have an organization here, the 49ers. I don't think anything can stop them. They have been a model organization through all of the years. There has been a lot of turmoil around this team in terms of the ownership situation and the rest, which we'll get into shortly. And yet here they are, a winner on week 1 and a blowout road win in week 2.
And that run was against a Redskins defense, guys, which was really more or less flat-footed and were spectators on that play. Not a very good effort.
49ers with a lot of offense in the first 2 weeks and going to 2-0. 45-10 is the score. Wade Ritchie's kick from the 1-yard line. Ryan Mitchell up to the 28-yard line. Monday Night Football being brought to you by the new Dodge. It's about change. AT&T, it's all within your reach. The Office of National Drug Control Policy and Charles Schwab providing people, technology, and support to help you gain financial control.
Well, the 49ers have knocked the will completely out of the Washington Redskins. That last defensive series signifies that. I mean, Chuck Levy running right to the goal line untouched. And you could see the 49ers superstars sitting there and taking a breath and a breather. This is like a preseason game for them.
Their front 4 is still in the game. Unfortunately for Washington, there's Bryant Young again.
And here's Westbrook. And Westbrook out to the 50-yard line. Steve Young with that look of a felon who won't just stop at the U.S. Senate. He might have his sights set on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Speaking of, there's a shot of the White House, where we understand the current occupant is on the road tonight. President Clinton is in New York at a benefit performance, a fundraiser of the Lion King. So he has missed a game featuring the hometown team that a lot of people enjoyed through about the first 22 minutes. And after that, it has been all downhill. And a timeout is called here. 6:53 left in the 4th period. The 49ers on top, 45-10. And the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys, minus, of course, Troy Aikman, Jason Garrett will try to lead the Cowboys to a win next week as the 49ers begin to wrap this one up. Stephen Davis gets tackled by Norton.
And Bryant Young again on top of Trent Green.
Do you think Bryant Young has made a statement tonight?
Well, yes. He's making a statement that I cannot be blocked. What an explosion off the ball Bryant Young has.
I think that if you're a Redskin fan, if you're a Redskin coach, a player, you're going to think that it can't get any worse than this. Maybe this is the end of it. Maybe this is where the new beginning starts.
Wait till they hear talk radio tomorrow here. On 2nd and 12, that pass is incomplete. Chris Rock is the executive producer of a new comedy. It's called The Hughleys, starring comedian Darryl Hughley. And they tell us it's Archie Bunker and George Jefferson rolled into one. That's what they say. The Hughleys premiering September 22nd right here on ABC.
Boomer, let me ask you something. Have you seen anything tonight from Trent Green that doesn't tell you that he deserves to be the starter next week for the Redskins?
We had a good first half. Second half, though, this offense hasn't done anything. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that the 49ers have controlled the ball. But I mean, he's running for his life at this point.
And there is Bryant Young again.
And the thing about it is, I've been in this situation. I know what it's like to be on the field down 35 points. Unfortunately, you know, it happened a lot to me. You know, all you want is you want your guys not to quit on you. You want your guys to play with you. You want them to fight with you, and you want to show, and you want to see some fight out of them.
Right.
And that's probably the most disheartening thing that I see right now is that this team basically looks as if it is given up.
My point is, the Redskins just got beat tonight by a better football team, and I don't know that you can put a whole lot of this on the doorstep of Trent Green.
Matt Turk with the kick. And the 49ers are going to let it bounce into the end zone as McQuarters lets it go. And the 49ers will take it at the 20. Now, earlier we talked about the 49er ownership situation. Eddie DeBartolo owns the team as you take a look at the Iwo Jima Monument, another site from our nation's capital. And there is Denise DeBartolo York. She is the Denise is not used to this. She doesn't enjoy the spotlight. But as the brother of Eddie DeBartolo, who is the owner of the team, Denise is the chairman and the owner of a team that's had a lot of transition in the front office, among other things.
Oh, she's leaving.
Denise wants to close the curtain. Well, it speaks to the fact that she is a mother and a wife and lives in Youngstown, Ohio. And she is forced into the situation of becoming the chairman of this team because owner Eddie DeBartolo has legal difficulties right now. He is involved in a situation that involves the ex-governor of Louisiana, Edwin Edwards, and Edwards' son. Lawyers for the Edwards have been, as the saying goes, invited to a conference here in Washington tomorrow. They'll be advised they'll be charged with RICO violations. That's racketeering, influence, and corrupt organizations. DeBartolo is not involved in the same charges, it's our understanding, as Levy has it. But the whole investigation stems from a business deal, and that's why the National Football League has insisted on Denise's entry into this matter to serve as the chairman. In the middle of all this, of course, Carmen Policy, who'd been the president and day-to-day head of the organization, as you know, about 2 months ago resigned, and Carmen will now, along with Al Lerner, run the new Cleveland Browns. So despite it all, despite all this turmoil, the 49ers still, to this point anyway, haven't missed a beat.
No, they haven't. Not on the field.
Did you take a breath in that whole thing?
Well, you know,
he does that pretty well, doesn't he?
Oh, he's unbelievable.
Well, he's got a 3rd down and 1 as Levy picks up the 1st down. Well, you know, sport, let's face it, Boomer, these days it's a lot more than what's going on the field. And you guys can both speak to the fact that good organizations, it's like anything else in life, it starts at the top. And if it's good at the top,
and it'll be interesting.
Through.
And you mentioned Al Lerner and Carmen Policy being the successful bidders for the new Cleveland Browns franchise. And boy, it's going to be fun to watch Carmen Policy put that organization together. Already speculation about him talking to George Seifert, who now works at CBS. George saying he really doesn't think that he's got a shot of being the coach. Stay tuned for tomorrow's rumors.
This is Jim Druckenmiller, by the way, who's in at quarterback, the number 3 guy and their number 1 pick out of Virginia Tech.
I thought one of
the
real interesting rumors was the possibility of Mike Holmgren going there.
Well, you got Mike Holmgren going back to San Francisco, Steve Mariucci to Green Bay. The rumor mill is working overtime. This is the second week of the season.
Oh, it's unbelievable when these things start getting out of control and they start putting people in situations because they think that they might fit there.
I heard one the other day that you were going to do Miss America.
You're exactly right, Boomer. We don't deal with rumors and innuendo on Monday Night Football. Chuck Levy gets spun down.
You did that better, by the way, than that Southern imitation you tried to do of Don Meredith earlier.
Absolutely.
That was really bad.
Well, boys, we will reconvene next week at the Meadowlands. We have not visited the Meadowlands in a number of years.
No, we have not. It's nice to have the Giants back on our schedule. Uh-oh, Boomer.
Uh-oh. How about that? Actually, I wrote that, to be honest with you guys.
I wouldn't give up on Trent Green yet. I don't think you have much of a choice here in Washington.
3rd down and 6 from the 39-yard line. Levy again. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go. Nice ride home upcoming for the 49ers and an off week and a 2-0 record. 45. The 49ers now with 1,060 yards in the first 2 games of the season. Only Buffalo in their start in '91, a Super Bowl year, gained more yardage over the first 2 weeks. The Niners 557 last week and 503 thus far tonight.
Not a bad way to head into the bye for the 49ers, who really have an unusually early bye here with it coming on the 3rd week of the season.
I bet you the Redskins wouldn't mind a bye right now.
Eddie Howard. Mitchell at the 21-yard line. And we can tell you as we begin our 29th year of Monday Night Football, our producer in his 13th season is the great Ken Wolf, and Craig Janoff, his 11th year, providing us with the great pictures. Joe Chavo, who has been here since day one. Joey was here before Monday night even started. Ben Harvey is our associate producer again. A great crew. Jaime Bravo, our associate director, and Ed McKenna, Claude Phipps, Hal Schmitz, making sure the sights and sounds, along with Chris Pfeiffer and Bill Boland, are around-the-clock assistants to the producer. Steve Hurd, our director of information. Lynn Vandenberg up here in the booth with us this year, guys, making sure the kennels run correctly. As this is Stephen Davis picking up about 13. Our statistician once again is Mr. George Hill, and our spotter, the aforementioned Malibu, Kelly Hayes.
We talked about earlier about, this panic set in for the Redskins now. How do they handle this? They have a long road trip. They have to go play Seattle, a tough defensive football team led by a great quarterback in Warren Moon.
It's a tough assignment for that guy right there, Norv Turner, Boomer, but it's also now time for the veteran players on this team to stand up and be leaders.
Hey, it's time for a team meeting without coaches and get whatever's on your chest, get it out, get it open. I really don't know if the defensive players can be too upset with the offense tonight. I mean, they gave up a lot of points, a lot of yards. I mean, everybody has to look at themselves first and foremost before they can start pointing the finger. Then you wonder, this is a team that is built to win now, believe it or not. And given their unsettled situation at quarterback, where does Jeff Hostetler fit in all this?
He wants to know.
Yeah, he does want to know. He wants to know, he's been a winner in this league. He has taken a team and won a Super Bowl with the Giants. I mean, he's as competitive as anybody there that I know of in professional football. Now, he has had obviously some bad luck with a bad knee. He got hurt in the last preseason game against Buffalo. But this guy still has a lot to offer.
What he wants is an explanation.
Right.
And there's Dana Stubblefield, one of the pair of defensive tackles that commanded huge money. And the 49ers choosing to let him go, signing Winfred Tubbs and Gabe Wilkins for about the same amount of money it would have taken to retain Stubblefield.
It takes more than just one guy, Dan, as you well know.
Yep. Well, it takes the veterans now to step up. The young guys are going to be a little wide-eyed. The veterans for the Redskins now, it's time to buck up.
So the 49ers, a perfect beginning to their season, 2-0 and a week off. Steve Mariucci on his way home. The Niners win it 45-10.